All right, everyone. Good morning. Happy Monday. Welcome back, and hope everybody had a great weekend. Just making sure we are all set here. That sounds much better. Okay. All right. So, as always, let's go ahead and jump right in. My name is Jared. This is Engineering the Markets, and it is September 27th, 2021. Um, Hopefully, we've all had a chance to review some of the activity from last week and sort of take a look into this following week to kind of get a sense of where the market is shifting as we've had a good bit of volatility to come off of last week's session. Starting with our SPX, we'll just start off with the index product and just taking a look at the weekly. We'll go ahead and review the fact that we do have a fairly significant bounce on the SPX. Some of this is occluding some of that. So go ahead and take this off. So from last week's session, we know that based on the SPX, we saw a fairly decent drawdown on our daily chart. We actually broke our 50-day moving average for the first time in roughly a year. The SPX has been fairly stable on drawdowns to the 50 in regards to the overall market trend. And the last time we've seen this activity was pre-election last year. So into this first event, something fairly notable and different about the market, it's worthwhile to also pull the chart back and just look at the fact that we've simply touched the 20 period on the weekly. We've actually had a fairly strong reaction off of this as the market has rebounded from this point. And we're actually closing the week on somewhat of a buy setup on the weekly. Notable that we are testing this moving average for the first time since, we'll call it early March, and then once again back in pre-election timeframes where we actually reflected off of the 20 period. It's also worth mentioning that the SPX had a fairly volatile expected move into that week. We were looking at over 100 points of expected movement. And on Monday's session, we actually achieved the lower end of that expected move. So the market drawdown to this area and the risk accumulation that the option market places on this level was notable. It's not common to see upper or lower expected move tests on the first day of a weekly series. So it was worthwhile to observe this reaction. We obviously had lots of fear in the market regarding the Evergrande continuing news cycle and some of the resolution of that debt, payments, how the debt was going to be paid and who was going to take control of some of those underlying assets. Additionally, the continual overtone of the fact that the market is very strong in a very bullish trend. So people are always looking for when is a larger than average correction going to come. COVID fears, the Delta crisis or Delta variant, along with just simple facts of tapering, which we did come off of the FOMC meeting from previous sessions, along with any discussion of the debt ceiling inside of the United States, often more of a non-event, but ultimately can lead to some short-term volatility. So lots of activity packed into 1 week. It's notable, however, that on the week, we actually closed stronger from open to close. That can be seen on the weekly, along with the fact that even when the selling started, we'll just kind of mark the fact that the breach of the 20, we've had essentially a full 100% retracement. So we've negated a lot of that downside so far, albeit we did start from all-time highs. The idea is that we sort of have two areas of interest inside of the most previous correction. We can always look at all-time highs and state that this drawdown from high to low has made approximately a 61.8% retracement, very notable recovery from the bulls. And if the market is to continue selling, given how far the market has retraced, we would expect stronger selling to occur somewhere in this range. Essentially, bulls may be a bit exhausted. We might see sort of a higher low setup if the market is to correct back to the upside. And we would expect bulls to breach the previous lower high, which for now we'll say was set on Friday, and basically reverse trends. The market has had essentially a short-term downtrend form, but the fact that the recovery bounce was so strong, it's worth giving the opportunity back to the bulls in order to reverse the trend once again, sort of to V-bottom this area, or you can even think about structure here and the fact that we have such a strong balance area from before the selling. As I pull up my pen. You can imagine this area being an area of balance. Market was able to stall here for a period of a few days. So there's a notable amount of volume that was built up in this range. The activity here was more trending, and therefore the structure here is more poor in the sense that it doesn't necessarily offer significant support or resistance. And on the recovery bounce, if we are to pull all the way back up into this upper range, we could easily form additional structure here and reverse trend in the form of some sort of inverse head and shoulders. Ideally, we would want to see the market recover some of our key moving averages. And once again, notable on both Thursday and Friday, we actually closed above the 50 period on the SPX. So as this picture evolves for us moving forward, it's worth noting these key bits of information and ultimately carrying it forward. If you're essentially a perma bull for the time being, you're looking for these opportunities where the market either gets a bit oversold and has a strong inflection, or you're simply looking for confirmation of some sort of downtrend retracement. And the market is giving us a little bit of both on last week's session. So as always, as we enter the week, it's worth looking at the SPX expected move. I haven't marked those levels quite yet on the chart, but we can just talk about them in terms of price. So last week, the SPX closed at approximately 44.55. And when we look at our option series, we want to be aware that this week has some interesting series contained within the week. We do have September moving into October. So we have what's known as a quarterly series. This is a 1 in 4 set of series that have that are available throughout the year, and they occur on every third month. So you want to be thinking March, June, September, and December. It's also notable that for the expected move on the week, we're not necessarily looking at this quarterly, albeit there is some additional risk that can be packed into this prior series. But for now, and just the way that we calculate this for consistency, we're going to be looking at the October 1st series. And that right now is projecting approximately a $71 expected move. So a couple things to gather from that. One, the market has reduced its volatility from week to week. That can be seen on things like the VIX, which we'll take a look at in a moment. And additionally, if we go ahead and just look at those levels based on the price, We have about 43.84 to the downside. That's where the option market depicts risk if we were to start selling once again. And then 45.26 to the upside, which if we look back at our chart, brings us within pretty much a hop, skip, and a jump of both last week's expected move, this 45.28, but additionally, it brings us pretty much within shooting range of the all-time highs. So regardless of which way the market wants to move this week, we have some very clear areas of inflection that we expect reactions to occur. I would say most notably from last week's session, we want to keep a very close eye on this balance area. If bulls are able to basically stop any additional selling and revert the price back through this upper range, I would say that a lot of the bearish connotation has been negated. We're simply removing any structure in regards to where bears want to set up for another round of downside. And if they're able to clear this, especially on volume, which we'll look at in the SPY, and that kind of removes any structural spot for where bears may want to step back in outside of the all-time highs, which simply means we'll have a full 100% retracement of both high to low, along with the breach of the 50 back to this area. Obviously, if bears do want to step back into the market, we should see some selling pressure occur here. And most notably, I'd like to see the 50 get lost once again, basically another short-term signal that there might be some more downside. But keeping the larger picture in mind, we do have a fairly strong weekly bounce candle. The bears would have to negate a lot of that activity from last week. And additionally, the bears have already tried to move the market lower and essentially so far have failed. So we want to keep the idea that the bulls could even form that higher low scenario and reverse trend, essentially going from swing low to lower high, higher low, and then breaching whatever high is set. We're going to assume that Thursday and Friday is the high for now, if this is a lower high setup. So switching over to the VIX, just to talk about the volatility contraction, we saw what I would say is a normal decrease in volatility after a large uptick. Notable as well that the VIX came into an area that it often inflects from to the top side. If volatility were to stay elevated, we would have liked to see some sort of stronger close near this resistance. Ultimately, that did not occur. So we're back in sort of our normal gauge of, while the market is not at all-time highs, we do have a slightly decreased volatility inside of our VIX. And ultimately, it looks about the 20 print is kind of when the market is starting to change. Anything under tends to be fairly normal activity, at least in recent price action. But a spike above, or especially a close above the 20 print, that's often when we need to pay attention, especially when we're looking at long setups that may be starting to collapse. And then finally, shifting over to our SPY, I have a couple of these areas marked, not knowing necessarily which ones were going to be tested. I'll go ahead and remove the lowest end. That would be, of course, if the bears continued the selling pressure. But I want to just go ahead and note some other areas of interest. We were able to recover a very notable set of swing lows that provide a level of support. That's approximately the 436 price level. Market was able to recover from that last week. We have our notable downtrend resistance. I've gone ahead and left that marked as we are testing it at this time. And then essentially this balance shelf that we talked about on the SPX that has been established during some of the selling pressure, along with it being very close to a previous swing high, basically a previous all-time high before another pullback occurred. So as we're kind of walking through these levels, the reason for their importance, and ultimately the reason for even thinking about waiting for confirmation, is that ultimately a lot of market participants may not be positioned long during this more volatile setup. They may not have taken advantage of the oversold condition and gotten some of this upside move. Additionally, if you or have positioned well in regards to this bounce, you may be wanting to watch for that final confirmation, something like a breach of this retracement, and ultimately the volume signal to return to the bulls. We actually talked about this a bit last week inside of the BBT chat, but it's worthwhile noting that every time we've had a pullback, some of the largest selling volume has occurred whenever the low has been set. Essentially, if bulls want to recover this bounce, they've done so in mostly a V-bottom approach, the idea of higher highs and higher lows every single session following. But the volume has not necessarily been strong. It's actually been decreasing. You'll see here another bottom, volume decrease as we creep our way back to all-time highs. Some of these lows here, maybe this one on high volume, decreasing volume. This one actually set up with a second test, and then decreasing volume as we start to creep back to all-time highs. So for us and where we're positioned in the market, this may occur again, but I think a more likely scenario is that we've had the declining volume as we come into resistance, essentially a lower high setup. If bears are still in control, the volume should start to increase once again, and ultimately the price should start to draw away from this resistance. Basically, the bears need more effort in order to push the price through our support level. Basically, the low of Monday, the most obvious and identifiable low in this market at the moment. But for bulls, in previous trending action, their volume did not need to be high in order to breach the previous swing highs. Essentially, what they were fighting was not resistance. It simply was the pullback, and the recovery of the pullback did not require as much effort. I think for our setup here, one thing we may want to watch for is a drawdown, not necessarily on high volume per se, but essentially setting the lower high. And then we want to see some sort of strong push from the bulls as they breach this final resistance zone inside of the retracement, essentially coming to higher price levels, potentially breaching this range, and ultimately still looking at something like the trend back test. The idea that the market has had a very clear trend line for a period of about a year. You can sort of take swing lows and swing that line out to get those connection points. A back test of that area would bring us very close to all-time highs, but it would also showcase as to whether or not bulls or bears are in control at the moment. And ultimately, the size of that retracement may allow for more bullish demand to re-enter the market and actually breach us through all-time highs. That's, of course, the most bullish scenario that we have for this bounce. Now, some additional activity worth mentioning last week, and this is going to be more focused on where the market was placing new demand. Basically, where was money flowing during this recovery, and what are some areas that we can now start to watch as areas of interest if the market is to continue bullish. So we're starting off with our bond market. So as we had our FOMC meeting and discussion on Wednesday's session last week, we noted that the TLT was coming into not necessarily the swing highs, but a notable sort of upper test, an area that inflected quite strongly in the past. And if the market was to continue, it actually looked as if it was going to break out. Now, you can see what happened in the next two sessions. We had some fairly significant selling pressure. And I think what's even more notable is the size and the placement of this selling. You're coming off of a strong bullish trend day after information from the federal chair and the Federal Reserve. And then market participants the next day not only gap lower, essentially below all of this price action, but they sell the market off the entire day. Next Friday, any bulls expecting some sort of recovery bounce, or basically to stay within this chop, are met with another gap down and another strong trend day to the downside. So what this did last week is it significantly boosted the TNX, or pretty much any interest rate index that you want to be looking at. For our purposes, we'll use the TNX, which is the 10-year. And what's even more notable, as obviously these are inversely correlated, so it's worthwhile just stating Thursday and Friday session, two strong gap up trends in the interest rate. But as we open this morning, we're actually opening slightly above the 1.5% level. Basically, a relatively notable inflection point in the market. In fact, I want to say that we're opening right at 1.5, pretty much teasing that level at the moment. So what's relevant about that? Why does that matter? Why specifically 1.5? Well, I'll draw our attention back to February 25th of this year, the moment when the interest rate increased, and not only increased significantly from lows, but actually broke through the 1.5 for the first time. Let's go to what happened in the market during that time frame. If we go to 225, we have the NASDAQ sitting on the 50 after basically a normal pullback. The market had been trending. We've been holding the 20 for a while. We had sort of our first collapse of the NASDAQ through the 20, trying to hold here. And notice the volume really starting to increase as we're getting sort of push and pull between bulls and bears, setting up this range back in time. And ultimately, if you draw your attention to just the day of February 25th, it's going to be this selling candle right here. The first time we actually had a strong daily close below the 50. So as we know, we often talk about markets like to basically position themselves relative to economic, I would say, catalysts, economic conditions. Markets like to gravitate towards those sectors and industries that are going to give the most bang for the buck based on what's occurring across the United States or across global conditions. The bond market has a very big hand in where that money can be placed. And oftentimes, the most notable correlation that we like to discuss is whenever the interest rate is rising, tech stocks are not necessarily the outperformer. They often can precede a spike in interest rates, and ultimately they can be one of the strong sectors moving into a sharper rise of interest rates. But usually there are inflection points. As we saw last week, markets sold off across the board. We had some structural or technical breaches of key levels. NASDAQ actually held this 360 level pretty well. We didn't even test it. We actually came fairly close. If you look at a 30-day, you can see that we came, once again, hop, skip, and a jump from 360, but we didn't actually test it on the daily. But as the interest rates are rising, and if they continue to rise, basically if we see another upside move in interest rates, of course a downside day in bonds, that would be a bit of a stretch as they've already sold 2 days in a row. But if we see continued selling pressure in bonds overall, do not be surprised if the NASDAQ does the exact same thing as it did in prior sessions. We're coming off of a recovery bounce in the NASDAQ. We have the same conditions here in regards to downtrending resistance. The same idea in the fact that we have balance sitting above us, which can also act as resistance, along with the fact that the NASDAQ, all it did was do a gap fill. If stronger bearish pressure comes into the NASDAQ, we would expect it to be somewhere in this area. And ultimately, if we look at the fib, it's not perfect here, but move that up slightly. So we look at our fib, we see that the market is in that sort of golden area where bears can start to reposition for another short level, essentially to put on additional risk back to the downside. And what we're looking for are differences. Obviously, the SPY and the NASDAQ are similar in where they are positioned, but different in regards to different pressures occurring throughout the market. The bond market is going to be key, I think, for the NASDAQ moving forward. Additionally, as I mentioned, other sectors may start to steal the show. If interest rates continue to rise, we're seeing things like financials have a much stronger recovery bounce, ultimately reclaiming the 20 and the 50 within the same Thursday session, coming above this balance zone, just showing relative strength overall as a sector. That's obviously going to help things like the IWM, which has a lot of regional bank exposure. You can look at something like the KRE ETF to see that same bounce. And if you note here, this market has been fairly flat to underperforming for a while. We could start to look at maybe some upper resistance zones for this first recovery bounce. And ultimately, if interest rates continue to rise, we would expect a larger breakout to possibly be occurring soon. We know that things like energy often benefit from higher interest rate environments. There's also sort of an overhead theme occurring right now in regards to the United States starting to open up travel for different countries and ultimately starting to relax some of the travel restrictions. We've seen some of those benefits occur in the airliner sector, potentially some of just the reopening plays. You want to be thinking hotels, leisure and entertainment, along with more specific asset-based classes like energy. And then finally, depending on whether or not you trade these sectors, often materials and industrials are going to benefit from that environment as well, but they have some additional concern in regards to the dollar. The dollar has been sort of, I would say, testing a very notable area for a possible breakout. And while interest rates are rising at the moment, the dollar breakout can put pressure on some of our commodity classes. So not everything is perfectly aligned in regards to all bull all the time in regard specifically in these setups, but we do have some sort of push and pull that we could start to analyze. I would say the dollar is going to be key for some of those commodity sensitive industries, whereas the more direct industries like financials and energy may simply benefit from rising interest rates and sort of see that relative strength carry them throughout. As we've discussed as well, we want to keep a close eye on tech. If tech is going to sell while these other sectors rise, we may get some choppy action in the SPY as the market is trying to rebalance. But if this is more of a false signal and we see a lot of sector strength across the board, maybe even healthcare recovering a bit better than where it's currently positioned, this is actually one of the more bearish setups across some of our main sectors. Then, the SPY can actually test all-time highs quickly. But if not, if we get the rebalance, that's where those scenarios start to come into play. the lower high, rebalance, maybe setting the higher low, and then ultimately some sort of confirmation across some relative sector strength, maybe a breakout of one of our key sectors into its all-time highs. So as always, we're going to go into this week with sort of that open mind in regards to we've had some volatility. It's contracted quite a bit, but the market still seems to be a bit tentative. We haven't fully recovered everything, but we have recovered quite a bit in terms of price. We also see the sort of shift, the undercurrent of where money is flowing, not necessarily where we've been focused for the past couple of months. Our tech, our communication, even something like consumer discretionaries, this is sort of an odd man out in regards to we're actually seeing a possible attempt at an all-time high break, our weekly holding very strong, and that's more aligned with some of the reopening concept, maybe a bit more consumer spending, and we can see some of that with some of our large credit or credit card or just companies that are involved with payments. Visa and MasterCard have been selling for quite a while. They got a significant boost last week coming off of some of those reopening and travel restrictions starting to lift. So let's kind of roll that all into this week, how we're going to analyze the market moving forward. And as always, look for opportunities where money is flowing. If this continues, it can be worthwhile to have some of those sectors on your watch list and basically just find one or two candidate stocks that'll give you that sort of trending scenario day in and day out, as long as the conditions are still being met. If not, then ultimately look for the shift to occur intraday, or we might just see some choppy action as the rebalance needs to occur over a period of a couple of sessions. So that said, I'm Jared. This is Engineering the Markets. Trade safe. Y'all step into this week with some of that open mind concept and be looking for those opportunities, both from intraday and swing trade. I think more on the swing trading side, we're seeing shifts in where strength is occurring. So you want to be in the strong sectors, and you ultimately want to be a little cautious in some of those weaker sectors as they need to prove it to you for the bullish setups. So take care, stay tuned for pre-market prep, and we'll talk more tomorrow.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market prep. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you had an incredible weekend. Good morning, Norm. How you doing today?
Hey, good morning, buddy. I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing good, my friend. Doing good. Hope you had a great weekend and
Yeah, just
enjoyed
busy,
yourself.
man. I had
So,
two birthday parties and a
Mhm.
5-year-old birthday party that lasted 2.5 hours. That is just no.
Oh, I hope we're not starting this sound issue. But yeah, I hear you,
Oh,
man.
you don't have the room turned on.
Yeah. Did we lose it or was it okay? 'Cause I turned it on. All right, let's try that.
Oh, it
The
keeps doing
minute
it.
I click on it, it turns back off. Let me see there.
It's working now.
Staying now. No.
Oh,
Okay. Guys, over on YouTube, give us 1 quick second. We're having a
you
case of the
do I need to
Mondays.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys on YouTube won't notice anything. Carlos, you want me to reset the
Yeah.
bridge?
Reset and I'll refresh.
All right.
Wait, it's connecting now. Don't do anything. Hold on. Did you do
Okay.
anything?
No.
Just came back. And I have
Okay.
not done.
No.
No, it's
It's dead.
going
I
off.
got to do
All right.
it.
Cool. All right, YouTube, you should be able
Yeah.
to hear us fine. No issues there. So hopefully you guys are doing well. We're just going to reset a couple of things here. And I should have put the shades down. This light is bothering me, the glare. I'm going to do that later. And we'll see here. Over on YouTube, if you guys really enjoyed Jared's engineering the markets, make sure you hit that thumbs up, guys. It means a whole lot to us. And yeah, he's putting in a lot of work. It's a lot of information. I'm learning a whole lot from him every single morning. So appreciate the work he's doing there. All right, so we're back. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and share our video with the chat, and we'll start the audio again. There we go. Wow, something's up. It keeps appearing and disappearing. That is funky, man. Let me do this. Let me open up a different browser. Guys, apologies over on YouTube.
Yeah, sorry. We'll get it going in just a minute, guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna exit this browser and try a different browser. It could be that as well. Let's try something else. Nope, that's not what I want to click. Cancel this. All right, let's try this one more time.
Doesn't want to wake up on a Monday morning.
Oh, tell me about it. Okay, firing this thing back up. Let's head into our chat room and give this another shot.
Sorry, guys. Every once in a while.
Yeah, yep. All right, there we go. It's on.
Fingers are crossed, Carlos.
Yeah,
It looks like
I'm not even going to share the screen yet. I'm just going to let this kind of settle in.
It looks like it's going good.
Looks good. Okay, let's share the screen now. And
John, thank you very much.
Boom, there it is. Perfect.
All right.
Here we go. John, starting off the week.
Yeah,
the
nice.
trading week here
Thank
with
you.
an amazing $10 bomb. I appreciate that very, very much. As you guys know, every single dollar matched by Andrew for the charity of the month. This month we're finishing it off this week with Cure Childhood Cancer. So again, what a better cause to donate to. So if you haven't had a chance to donate, you still have time for this month, and you have time next month. We'll pick a different charity also. And again, guys, the amount doesn't matter. You know, and Andrew says a lot, and I believe this as well, is the power of the community. If we all do $2, $3, $4, it all adds up at the end of the day, and it goes into a great cause. So thank you for that. All right, guys, without no more delays, let's go into our overall market this morning. Let's get this into the SPY here. Norm, what's the latest and greatest so far? I know there's a lot going on last week and again to this week. What you got for us?
Yeah, I mean, last week was an interesting week. It's been volatile the last few weeks. We've had a couple of down weeks, and the last week I actually finished positive on the SPY. Trying to see how we shake out here. We've had a lot of news going on. You know, we had the Fed, and now we've got Jay Powell be testifying on Capitol Hill Tuesday and Thursday, I believe. Wednesday, I think he's got something going on with the ECB. So he's got some kind of meeting there. So he'll be in the news a lot this week. Futures looked really strong. They started giving it back slowly this morning and then slid red. So we'll see how that acts. We just had durable goods and core durable goods orders reported at 8:30. So gearing up for the week. It'll be interesting.
Yep, it sure will, and looking forward to see what kind of action we're going to get. All right, let's hop into our gappers list this morning, guys. We have a little bit in the green today. A couple of stocks in here in between 2 to 4%, and then we have this one up 19%, Be Big, which we know has been very active over the last couple of probably a month or two now. Seems like it's been on our gappers list quite a bit. I don't really like the way it trades, but we'll take a look at that. And then gapping down, we have a couple on here as well. The ticker names don't look too exciting. I'll tell you that right now. Say it again. A lot of oil in here. Yeah. Okay. All right. So again, we know those stocks usually don't trade very well, but we'll definitely dig into that. So
Oxy can trade well.
Oh yeah, Oxy out of is one of our favorite ones for sure, no question. Andre, thank you so much for the donation there, man. Appreciate that very much. Happy Monday, BBT. Let's all stay disciplined. Cannot agree with that anymore. So thank you. All right, let's remove our watch list from Friday, guys, and let's get into this week. We have Be Big here, and let's link our trade ideas.
My apologies for bungling the pronunciation of your name. I have not seen Andre spelled that way. I just blame it on the dumb American. So
I only know that because somebody put it out there, but I would have done the same thing. All right, guys, here it is. Be Big. Let's start with that one. This one is up this morning, a nice 20%. Let's get our 5-minute chart at the top, and let's get our daily to get a bigger picture of what's going on here. As you've seen here, yeah, it seems like about a month, right? Maybe a month. This thing has seen more than usual volume on here, especially the late August, early September. Has died down a little bit from there. Still great volume though. Remember, this is 330 million. Now we're doing about 50 maybe or so. I'm just guesstimating here. Yeah, about 60 million. Still a lot of volume for this type of stock, right? This morning up 20%, guys. 9.8 million shares traded. Definitely in play. The float on this one is 82 million. It is not a low flow stock, but again, the price is lower, which sometimes triggers people to take a lot more shares. Just be careful with that, right? Definitely be aware of how many shares and your position sizing on this stock, because it can move a whole lot. So you don't need 3,000 shares to make some good money on that stock. We'll add that on there. KRA not looking so good. It is up 7% this morning, 175.
This
Again,
one literally just popped on here.
Yeah. Oh, it did. Okay.
Yeah, it had a 50,000 share order that went through about a minute ago that gave it the volume.
Mm-hmm.
It is an all cash buyout. So.
Okay.
Probably not real interesting.
Yeah, not really interesting. And so again, all cash, it's just, I don't know. It doesn't look good right now, guys. It can do something, but I'll stay away from that one. ATER, this thing has been very active in the month of September as well. We've seen a couple of pumps on this one. This morning, they are up 1.6 million shares traded. I like the daily. Daily looks interesting here, right? We had a nice pop, came back down to about around 11, popped again to 17, back down to 12. So we seem to be making a higher base every time. Maybe a breakout today is possible. Float on this one is sitting at 25, so it's a little bit of a lower flow stock. I'm going to put it down over here, ATER with our risky pile. NNVC, we've seen this quite a bit in our list in the past. It trades pretty bad though. I don't like the way this one intraday trades. Right now up 5%, volume is very light. And look, an American Stock Exchange. So again, something about these tickers on this exchange are just not great. NRXP, not looking good, very choppy, no pre-market action at the moment. Daily also looks very crappy here as well. Let's skip on to Oxy. Oxy, so as we mentioned earlier, one of the better oil company oil tickers that trades well. Now, Norm, you said there's a lot of oil companies on here. Any news in regards to the oil overall sector?
Well, yeah, I mean, oil's up 2% this morning, but there's news out of the UK of fuel shortages and panic buying, and maybe they've got a supply chain issues, a number of things going on with it. So the supply chain talks and issues have not just there, everywhere have been more and more in focus. And this one's I saw an article this morning on oil in the UK that they might have to call in the military to start driving oil trucks to deliver.
Wow.
So BP shut down some of their stations. I've heard that like somewhere between, depending on where you are in the where you are located, you might have 50 to 90% of the gas pumps out. So anyway, it's nuts.
Yeah, that will get pretty crazy. Oxy is leading the way here, guys. All of these down here, as you notice, these are all except CUK. I believe these are all mining and oil gas companies.
Well, we've got what do we got? Oxy, MRO, BTU, BP, XOM. So.
Yep. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on Oxy, guys. I do like that one. I do like the way it trades. We'll quickly go through the rest of these, see if there's anything that looks really good. But right now, this one looks pretty nice. I like the daily on this one. Trades a lot cleaner. Sometimes MRO. Again, not a whole lot going on there. BTU. This one is this a bit? No, this is mining as well. Okay. Now we have CCL in the middle of both of these here, and I saw CUK and I saw CCL popped up and then it disappeared. Let's see what's going on with CCL. Jared touched on this a little bit earlier about some reopening plays, so travel companies are going to be in play for the next couple of days or so. I'm going to add CCL on here. Let's take a look at American Airlines and some of the airlines and see what's going on there. They've been breaking out of this situation here on 2050, so that's good. It's just been kind of chopping around the last couple of days, doing nice there. I'll keep an eye on American Airlines, and that's more of a possible maybe, but we'll see what happens there. Then more oil companies, as we mentioned earlier, BP, ExxonMobil on here. Again, I'm gonna keep an eye on Oxy. The rest of these, they don't trade all that well. Although today, with the news that we're seeing, that's major news. You could see a move on these. Like on BP. Like we would never watch BP, but today could be a day where you can actually watch BP. What do you think, Norm?
I would stick with Oxy if it were me. But
yep, that's agree. That's what I'm going with as well. Guys, gapping down this morning. EVLO today, they are down 16%, 240,000 shares traded. Not the best daily, not the best pre-market action. And the volume, just looking at that a little bit close now, very, very low on their daily. They're doing about 500,000. What's the float on this? 26. So a little bit lowish float, but not really a low flow stock, Go ahead.
Nothing. Never mind.
Okay. So again, I'm just maybe a possible. It's a lot I don't like on here. Maybe a possible. We'll come back to that. SBSW. We know this stock trades very bad, guys. Again, it's a foreign stock, and it's just not a great intraday trading stock.
South African gold miner run.
Yeah. So run away from that, guys. Here is this is not, what is this, Golden Ocean Group? Hopefully nobody's confusing this for Google or whatever. But again, that's
it's a shipping company.
That's the only reason why anybody will look at this. But again, just not a great ticker. We'll skip. Next, LAC. This one is down 3.5, 213,000. Flow is 98 million. Again, I'm just not seeing a whole lot of movement in the pre-market right now. They got 213,000 shares traded. Outside of that, it's just maybe their daily a little bit interesting, losing this area of support here at 21. They've been trying to hold this for some time. That's probably the only thing that looks a little bit interesting on here. The volume not great. Even on their biggest days, they're only doing about 13 million. So the only thing I like here, guys, is this possible drop, and we do have shares for sure. Maybe we can get a run on here if we get insane volume, right? It's not there yet. We'll put it as a possible for now. Go EV. The last couple of days getting into a nice little run here. Green day on Friday, Thursday, nice day on Friday from 750 all the way up to $9. Maybe a continuation today, but the pre-market action is just not there yet. So I'm gonna hold off on this one. If you guys see something happening, throw it back out to me. FLG.
I think you gotta. I think that might be a decent one to keep on the list, brother. It's well, it's a meme stock. It's got high short interest. I have a feeling they might try to continue to push that one. So
yeah, I mean, the last 2 days have been amazing. So yeah, put it on here, see where it goes. FLGC this morning. No, I don't like the daily on this one. Also, pre-market action is just not looking great at all. So we'll skip on that. They had a good day on Friday, right, with some volume. And I'm saying good day meaning they opened up at 5. It closed at $7, and they had some decent volume compared to what they normally do. So maybe a continuation today. That's probably why it's getting the volume and why people are looking at this. But for the most part, they don't trade very well. You can tell here by the volume is not great, and also the daily is very, very bad on that one. NKLA, what's going on with these guys? I mean, I know they've been trying to hold this level at 10. They hit our gappers list a couple of times last week. Right now, they're on the downside, down 2.1 with 301,000 shares traded. Let's take a look at the daily on Friday. On the intraday Friday, they had a decent pop here. That's about it. I don't know. Possible maybe. If that, we'll give it the benefit of the doubt. We'll throw as a possible for now. Let's do that NKLA. There we go. All right, cool. Norm, anything you like on your end?
Yeah, I'll throw you a couple. RCAT, RCAT.
RCAT.
Yeah, it's right around. Yeah, it's they had news of a NASA contract they won. It's been running since this morning, consolidating right here, so it could be interesting. It's 32 million, 31 million, something like that share float. So not necessarily a low float. Usually we stay away from stuff this size, this price, but it's moving.
It's moving well, and it's ran up in the past too. It's ran up pretty nice in the past. Here you can see. Yeah. So yeah, worth watching, guys. I'm not gonna put this on the risky pile because it's really not. You could tell here, it doesn't look like a low flow stock, but we'll put RCAT up here.
It's somewhere on the it's somewhere on the fence of that.
Yeah.
I was watching it earlier. It can move pretty quick, but not like a tiny float like you were discussing. Facebook not really doing much at the moment, but I want to see what it does when the market opens. As we've discussed, they've been under some heat for some articles published about bad effects of their products over the last couple of weeks. They had their, what I believe, chief technology officer resign that's been there forever. And then they announced they were going to have like Instagram for tween girls focus or kids, and they're pulling the plug on that, at least delaying it. So we'll see if that does anything to them once it gets going.
All right, we'll have that on here. In big day on Friday, right? Pushing up here after a series of red days, just getting crushed. So getting a little bit of relief there. We'll see where this goes. All right, let's take it over to the chat room of Fabio. Yes, Facebook is on deck, and now you're giving us also Tesla. Let's take a look there. Tesla this morning. Big day on Friday there. How are we doing on Tesla as far as the overall daily? Okay, so we got a couple of levels towards the top here. Yeah, Tesla could be interesting, guys. We're getting a decent volume, 410 on it. Great day on Friday. Maybe a possible continuation. They're down slightly, not by much. Yeah, Tesla could be worth watching. How are the rest of the EV vehicles doing? Let's take a look at NIO. No, NIO not doing a whole lot. Tesla seems to be doing its own thing there. So, wrote the wrong Tesla. Don't trade that. That is garbage. Here it is. Yeah, let's get the right ticker in here. There we go. Okay, Tesla, yeah, it's decent. I like that one. mRNA, let's take a look there. mRNA this morning. Pretty light volume. I don't think they're really in play right now. Heading down. Also, Toro is giving us Apple. Apple's been good to watch. Just to keep on the sidelines there in case the market is moving heavily in one direction. Apple's a good one to watch, or the whole tech sector as well. Right now, they have 1.1 million shares traded. So they got a whole ton of volume. The pre-market action doesn't look like it has that much volume, right? Because it's not a great pre-market action right now. But I think you need to watch Apple if you have the space for it. I think it's a good one to keep on deck in the sidelines. Especially with this week coming up, seeing how things are going to unfold. Here's AMC this morning. Let's see what's going on here. AMC, not really in play, guys. Very light volume, 372 for AMC is not a whole lot. And they're not really moving. They're just kind of stuck within this previous day close line. Right, we had some fun in here when they were moving. Definitely had some fun right over here, guys, as we try to break out of this area. Every day was nice. We got some good opportunities after you let it settle down about 30 minutes, even an hour at times. But right now, I just don't see a whole lot going on. I think you can get something on this one. but it would be nice to probably wait for it to hit our scanners or it to be called out by someone. Right now, it's just not looking great. DKNG, I don't see a whole lot of volume on here. I see what you're looking at, slamming up against a great level of support right on here, guys. Prior resistance, as you can see right over here. And we're trying to hold this 51.20, 51.33 previous day close line. So that could be interesting. But outside of that, the volume, guys, 30,000. I mean, it's just not going to cut it for us right now. But the daily does look good. I see what you're looking at there. That looks nice. Saba, I know there's been an amazing swing trade for Brian last week, I believe. This morning, not a whole lot of volume, possible continuation breakout, right? They're building a nice little base here off of 50, broke out of that, got some more volume coming in than what they're usually trading over the last 2 weeks. Outside of that, man, it's just the overall volume is just not there. BA, let's take a look here. Well, BA's had a nice little bounce here as well. 127. Yeah, no, you know what? BA could be interesting. I do like BA. I like this breakout
One of the
here.
airlines was signaling they were going to
Yeah.
grab some planes or something of that
Always.
nature. I saw something along those lines.
Always great news, especially as we try to reopen the travel sector, and it's going to be interesting, the aviation sector, because all these big planes being parked for the long term. Some of those guys are being retired. You think these airlines are probably going to buy smaller jets that are more efficient. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. They're looking good. I like that this morning. Volume is a little bit lighter than what I would like to see, but I do like what I'm seeing there. LSIT, no, not really in play. They have great volume, 750, but look at this daily. It's just kind of stuck in here. Not a whole lot going on. Maybe a pass. We'll take a second look at it. This probably could be one that we can that can be some of the other possibles that are on here, not doing a whole lot. Big, we have ATR, we have Bank of America. What's going on with the banks this morning?
Trades are up.
All right, so I see they're up a little bit here, 1.2. Yeah, we'll take a look at one of the banks. We'll keep Bank of America on here. How about West Fargo? I like that one a little bit better sometimes. They're all pretty much the same. Anyone will work. All right, cool, guys. Let's stop here. Let's check over on YouTube, see what's going on that side. Max LSID, we do have Sava. We looked at. I don't see a whole lot going on there. GGPI, is that a ticker? GGPI.
It's a SPAC. It's a
this is not
SPAC,
good.
but it's selling off. It's right around that redemption area, $10.
These are tough to trade. I mean, how would you?
They can be.
This could be tough to trade. So I wouldn't add this one to my list personally. CEI this morning. No, look at this, guys. I mean, look at this
terrible.
Pre-market action. No.
No,
You don't want to be in this. It's sitting on the American Stock Exchange as well. You got the volume 4.7 up 2%, but just look at this algo like, and this is the 5-minute. I can only imagine what the 1 minute looks like. So stay away from that. Bank of America, we do have Citigroup probably in the same boat as well. So they're all doing the same thing. A little bit of a bounce over the last couple of days here. CEO, lower price stock at 1 million. I don't like this pre-market action at all. If you look at this 1 million shares being traded, again, heavy volume per candle, and you're not getting great movement. And the order flow, it just doesn't look all that clean here. That could change. But looking at their history here and their daily, they don't look like they do very well. So I'm going to stay away from that. Heading down, Ride. We'll do a couple of more here. Ride this morning, they're down 3.1. Could be interesting, though. I don't have a whole lot of space left, but this one could be interesting. I'm just concerned with the volume here, guys. And again, they don't trade very well, too. You can see here on the daily, not all that great. It seems like they might have had some good days over the last couple of weeks, right? You're kind of breaking out here a little bit better. But outside of that, I don't know. Just something I'm not seeing that I don't like there. NVIDIA is a good one. I have Apple on deck, guys. Apple's going to be my kind of tech company to go to today. But you could look at NVIDIA and the rest of these giants as well, AMD and so forth. But Apple will be the one I'll have on here. Baba this morning, not doing a whole lot, pretty much flat right now. So again, I won't put that on my list at the moment. RCAT we do have. Norm gave us that one. 18 million shares traded right now, up 50%. Again, see, this is a nice pre-market action, guys. That is what you want to see. That other one we looked at, I already forgot the ticker to kind of erase it from my mind. That had 1 point something, but it's just not trading well at all. HLBZ, I just don't know how you manage your risk on this and how you take a trade, guys. We saw this last week, and it was just brutal. I mean, this thing popped up to like 32 or something, and it dropped $2 in a matter of seconds. I don't want no part of stuff that moves like that, right? Mara this morning, not a whole lot going on with Bitcoin right now. They seem pretty flat for the most part. All right, guys, let's stop here. I think we got a decent list to start the week. Let's go over to our community announcements. We got some pretty cool stuff coming up in here, Norm. So looking forward to it.
Absolutely. All right. Since it's Monday, quick weekly rundown. You got Brian's swing trade discussion in the afternoons at 2:30. He's actually been doing that a lot more in the afternoons because of COVID. But his scheduled time is 2:30 on Mondays. Then on Monday nights, live every week. Excuse me. You've got Carlos kicking it off with the onboarding session at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then immediately following that at 9 is Kyle with his tech class. So that is live every Monday night. And then Tuesday, Thursday at noon, you've got Eamon in the classroom doing trade reviews. Success webinars on Tuesday night. That's generally strategy kind of discussions. And then Wednesday's psychology at 8 p.m. Thursday is mentoring. That is 11 a.m. for Andrew, 8 p.m. for Thor. And then on Friday, Jared does his crypto mentorship at 11 a.m. All right. Speaking of, we already mentioned Kyle's on tonight with his tech class. And tomorrow night, he's doing the success webinar talking about DAS advanced hotkeys for risk management. I can't tell you the number of people that I cannot tell you the number of people that I've heard that have been helped by his ability to program these keys. So take a look at that this evening. Can't make it live, of course. All these are always recorded and available for later viewing. And then Wednesday, we've got Mike. He's been out for a couple of weeks, but we sure are happy to have him back. We missed him a ton. He'll be doing Wednesday night, 8 p.m. mindfulness during trading. As Carlos mentioned earlier in the show, all of the Super Chat, Super Sticker revenue, and from our BBT giving page on the website, all that's going to be matched dollar for dollar. And that for September is going to be donated to cure childhood cancer. Later in the week, we will unveil the charity for October because I can't believe it, but October is already here. All right. If you want to participate in the member trade of the day, trade of the week, take a screenshot of your best trade of the day, post it on Twitter, tagging at Bearable Traders, at MikeB_BBT, and at NormBBT. Also use hashtags BBT Family, Day Trading and Stock Market. I left out that you need to add commentary to that. Please describe the trade, the strategy, and all that as much as you can when you post that. We will pick a winner for each day, which actually coincides a lot with how well you describe the strategy, and announce it on Twitter and in the room. And then at the end of the week, over the weekend, all those trades of the day are eligible for trade of the week, which will be announced the same way on Monday. All right, guys. I am sorry to say that starting today, we are no longer going to be broadcasting. For the last couple of months, we've been doing this pre-market show for over 2.5 years now, every morning. And then the last couple of months, we've started to blend over and do some of the live trading. Unfortunately, it has stretched our resources in the room during live markets a little too thin. And so we've got to pull back. We will be shutting down the pre-market show like we used to right before the market opens. That having been said, we know a lot of you guys here on YouTube have been watching us, and we're sorry to hear that, but we're going to do something for you we've never done before. And that is you can go to the website, bearabletraders.com, scroll down the homepage till you find that test drive. Instead of a discount, we're going to give you a week free. This is only going to be this week, though. So if you want to sign up for that and try out the room and get the actual live trading and see Andrew's screen, use the promo code YTFREE. And that'll get you 1 week in the room. You don't even have to put any credit card info in, anything like that. You can come in the room. It'll cancel itself. Just come hang out with us for a week. See if you like it. It also gives you access to those onboarding classes that are live every Monday night. So take a look at that. And like I said, that expires. That code will no longer be useful after 11:59 p.m. on Friday. So also, if you want to get access to all the webinars, just not that Monday night stuff, all the webinars we have, you can use the promo code FALL40, and that'll get you 40% off the annual elite membership. No,
Excellent.
just to
Yeah, I was gonna.
clarify,
Yeah.
so it says no more pre-market. No, we will still have Jared at 8 p.m. Eastern, and that'll run then us like we do, and it'll just end right before the market opens. It just the room, guys, the reason for this, the room gets very hectic. The mods are not only trying to police stuff going on the on YouTube and in the room and help people and do their own trading and everything else that goes into this. And it's just, it's become too much.
All right, excellent.
And no name over here. I'm going to, this held for review, and I'll go ahead and show it. In other words, no more free stuff. Time to pay up. Mother truckers. No, it's not really what it is. We've done this for a long time. We just thought we'd throw in some YouTube. We still put a ton of free content on YouTube, guys. So we got to pull that back, that one part. So anyway.
Yep, absolutely. All right, guys.
Well,
let's
Playtime,
get
come
to
see
it.
us this week.
Yeah, sign up. And again, more free stuff. If you sign up for our onboarding class tonight, you're going to get 2 gifts. I'm not going to say what they are, but you'll get 2 gifts this morning at the end of the onboarding class that
Not
you can
this morning,
download.
tonight.
Correct. Tonight. So, sign up, join us tonight, join us this evening, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys in the chat room. Will be a lot of fun. All right, guys, let's get to it. Starting here with our main list. I'm going to try to keep this list down to 4. I've been doing 6 lately. I want to see if I can do 4 and just kind of fine tune my list a little more. We'll see. Let's see if we can get to that. Here's Big. Again, I'm not a big fan of this one, but I cannot deny this thing is active and it is in play, guys. It is up 70%, almost 18 right now. 11 million shares traded. This is in play, no question. So we'll keep it on here. Has ran up pretty good in the past as well. I have not been able to trade it successfully, but many members have. So we'll leave it on here. We'll do some levels for that. Oxy, I think, is a good one to watch today. They are up nicely with 240, and they get great volume, guys. For the type of ticker this is, an oil type company, they do very, very well. You can see the last couple of days to their daily getting very nice activity here, up against 28, breaking out of that now. So I like what I'm seeing there. CCL is going to be a fun one to watch, I think, depending how things go here. The last couple of days, nothing but green for them. The last 3 days last week, ending the week very well. American Airlines, I'm going to move them down. I think they're probably a good possible. I think CCL is looking slightly better this morning. So we'll get rid of American Airlines. We'll keep it down here as possible. RCAT right now, again, guys, huge volume on this, almost 20 million. They are up 40-50% at the moment. Again, definitely in play this morning. Here's Tesla, guys. Tesla's moving very well. They were green starting very early in the pre-market session. They have been getting into this little bit of a downtrend, little of a breakout here into the VWAP line. This blue line here is the VWAP, and now under it again. So let's see if we can get down to the 769 area. They're struggling with. Had a big day on Friday, guys. Huge pop there, breaking out of 760. Obviously, that was an area of resistance for them. So I like the daily on Tesla, and I like the action we're getting now. 485, and we'll keep that one on there. BA 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think BA will have to bring down. I think it could be a great possible, especially with news of other airlines kind of getting into purchasing more planes. That's always good for them. Let's bring them down to a possible. I think they fall better there. So we have BBig, we have Oxy, we have CCL, RCAT, and Tesla. All right, we got 5. I think 5 is good. I try to get to 4, but 4 might be a little bit difficult. Let's see over our secondary list here. We have BA. We moved down American Airlines. We have Apple, which I do like quite a bit. Pre-market action looking very good. Apple can actually be on your main list. This looks really good today. So we'll have to maybe move down CCL. I think maybe we'll do that. You know what? I'm back to 6. All right, we tried. Back to 6, guys. The Apple looks very good. We got to keep it on there. All right, American Airlines, Facebook, okay. Go EV here. Just because Norm said this one could actually get squeezed out because it is a meme company. So that could be good. Again, it's not going to have anything now. We'll be on the lookout for that. We'll keep it on here. EVLO, I like the drop here, guys, down 50%, 15%. We do have shares for sure. We lost this level at 7, but I'm just concerned this thing might not trade very well. Volume extremely light. Look at this here. All these days, even with some good movement, under 1.3 million shares. That's not going to be fun for us. Let's get rid of that. How did I put that on there? That should not be on there. LAC. Looking at this one, I like the drop. I love the daily possible drop here. Pre-market action is okay. We'll keep it on here for now. We'll give it a little bit more time. I might drop it before the market opens. And KLA, guys, I'm just not a big fan of this. I don't think this trades very well. Let's get rid of it. LSIT could be very explosive the last couple of days. A little bit of a consolidation, we want to say on here, right? Had a nice little breakout. Look at this thing drop to 16. Dropped to 16, made its way up till around 20. Right, kind of had a little fun over here, and then just started taking off, hitting 28, and now hanging around here at 26. So this thing, again, it definitely can move very well. Right now, though, on the fence on it, really on the fence. I might end up removing this and kind of waiting for it to hit the scanners, right? I just want to have a very a tight list here. Bank of America, probably going to watch one of the banking stocks just to see what's going on in that sector, keep my pulse on that. And as we head down, ATER is a low flow, right? Low flow. We have this on here, ATER. I don't remember adding it. ATER, yeah, about 25-ish million flow. Yeah, so low flow stock. Again, could be very explosive, guys. They got 2 million shares traded right now. Pre-market action could be better for that type of volume, but we've seen this take off pretty decent. All right, I think this looks very good. I tried to get to 4, but was not able to. We'll do 6. We'll continue this week to try to get down to 4 tickers. I think we want to fine tune just a little bit more. Be big right now. High of the pre-market, guys, sitting at $8 exactly. So we'll slam a level right on there. That is your high of your pre-market. That level, of course, is going to have a lot of play here. If you look at the daily, you can see the areas of support happening there. More support happening here as well. So again, that's going to be a big level for these guys to break out of. Above that, we got a nice level over here, over at 953. Again, tons of touches on here. Days opening, closing right around that area. You have resistance over here. You have support happening here as well, more resistance. So again, that 953 is going to be an important big level for this one as well. Towards the middle, though, right here around this area, this is not a 953. Right, it's not a $8 level, but you do have a couple of touches on here, especially most recently 15 on the 15, 16, and 17. You had a couple of days on here just slamming up against that, right? So you want to keep an eye on that. 873 towards the top there. Now towards the bottom, guys. I don't want to add too many levels, but again, it's just so clear. It's just grabbing us by the face, like normal, like Andrew would say. This level here, right where the price action is, a 766, 755. You can see the level of support happening on there, right? Just see that support right on there. You're going to have to mark that down. You got some touches on here as well. So I think that's a good level to have. And in the pre-market action, you were seeing that, now that I'm looking at it as well, you're seeing that play out very well, right? So you can see that right on there. You can see the resistance happening here, the breakout above that, then becoming support, breaking down from it again, trying to support it now. So again, that level just has a lot of play in it. Definitely want to have that on your list. So that's be big for today, guys. Great volume, up 20%. Looking to try to get back to that $8, that high of the pre-market. Here's Oxy towards the bottom, guys. I don't think you need to add anything more, not even the low of the pre-market. There's just way too many levels here, all looking pretty good. Highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. You even have the previous day close on here. Again, just a whole lot going on there. I like their daily, guys. They're trying to break out, and well, broke out of 28, trying to stay above that. That's also a very important level on this ticker, because you can see here how many times this thing has been tested over and over again as support, as resistance more recently here with a beautiful breakout. So let's focus on the top side. High of the pre-market 29.16. We'll slam a level there, and then over to the top of that we have 30 on the dot right on there. You can see great area of resistance back and forth, and then slightly above that just in case we get going again. This stock can move. I don't think today might be the day for that. Who knows? But 30.73, another great area of support and resistance right on there as well. All right, let's focus on CCL, guys. I like CCL's daily this morning. Towards the bottom, plenty of levels, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. High of the pre-market sitting down here at 26.17. Above that, we do have a very clear level here, 26.82. So we'll slam that on there. And then slightly above that, we do have 27.50. So plenty of levels towards the bottom and the top here on CCL. Here is RCAT this morning. RCAT, again, very active, guys. 20 million shares traded now. High of the pre-market, 384. We'll slam a level there. This level here in the pre-market is going to be important. It's going to be 351. You can see the support you're getting there on RCAT, so I'm definitely going to mark that down. And then towards the bottom here on the daily, you see tons of action around $3. Obviously, that's a whole dollar number, and the stocks, at this price target around $3 and lower price targets are going to have the whole dollar numbers are going to be very important. So $3 on there, great area of support and resistance as you're seeing here. Now, if we were to squeeze back up to 384 and above, this daily here, not great, right? This is not a great daily for levels, but let's do our best. We do have one on here over at 414 and then right up here at 441. As I always mentioned to you guys, it is more important the price action on these type of stocks, right? Be very careful with the price action on what it's showing you. Don't get hung up on these levels when it comes to these lower price stocks. Here is Tesla, guys. Again, tons of levels towards the bottom, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Even if you remove these 3 levels, if you get rid of those just to make this chart look a little bit cleaner, you got tons already down here. Highs and lows from the last 2 trading days between 740 and 760 are doing an amazing job. I'm going to mark down the low of the pre-market. We're getting a nice bounce off of that 768. And if we look towards the top here, high of the pre-market, pretty much where the previous day closes. This is going to be a very important area as well. But your high of your pre-market, just to be exact, is going to be a 777.78. There's tons of sevens on there. So mark that down. And then towards the top, if we were to get above that, we haven't been up here since December. Well, looks like February of this year, early this year. So it's been some time since we've been up here. Right over here, 797. And then above that, another great level, guys, over at 831. So this could be very interesting for Tesla, guys. Again, we haven't been up here in quite some time. Maybe in April, we kind of tipped on that and then kind of fell apart again. So let's see. Crawled our way back up here to this area. Let's see what Tesla wants to do. Down slightly this morning, but volume is looking pretty good. A very active pre-market action right now. Here is Apple. Apple at the moment towards the bottom, we do have some levels here. Clear level here, guys. We had this huge drop to 141, right? We're able to kind of see some relief off of that. Great level at 144.14. You can see that right on there on the daily. Just amazing stuff there. Tons of support happening there. Where the price action is right now, though, this is a great level. It's already marked by the low of Friday. But you can see that on there on 145, guys. Tons of support happening there. And then towards the top, you do have the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days doing an amazing job there. So Apple is good, guys. Very active. Definitely like this one this morning. 1.5 million shares traded right now. So, all right, cool. Let's get over to our moderators lineup. So I'm going to read out what our moderators have this morning. Let's scroll up here. Who do we have first? We have Jared. So Jared's focusing on the interest rate. So he's looking at XLF and XLE. He's also looking at TLT, TNX, and Apple as well. Simon, he's looking at mRNA, DISCA, PFE, and FSLY. No IPOs for today. No SPACs, typical for a Monday. Thor is looking at Apple, LSIT, SPY, secondary list, Facebook, NVIDIA, and mRNA. Dima is looking at Apple, Oxy, CCL, and American Airlines. Tiffany's looking at Apple, Tesla, CCL, and Oxy. Peter, his list, AMD, Apple, Oxy, secondary list, American Airlines, LSIT, and ARCAT this morning. John's coming in with BA, Tesla, and AMD. And Mike is looking at BA and Tesla as well. So
I just want to give you a heads up real quick.
Yeah.
Let me pop in here. We got about 13 minutes to the open. As I mentioned earlier, we'll still be doing the pre-market show and everything we've been doing for 2.5 years. We just won't have the live trading like we've dabbled in for the last couple of months, just because it's spread our team too thin. During the market open, they're trying to trade as well and everything. Some had mentioned the code, which is YT free, all one word, no spaces or anything like that. YT free, that was not working. I think it got overloaded for a second when a bunch of people tried. It is working now. So if you were on YouTube and you'd like to come over and try out the room, you can use that promo code YT free. Come in. All we ask is that you be respectful.
Yes.
Because no cursing, no politics, none of that kind of stuff. And because that'll get you either muted or banned. But anyway, yeah. So.
Yeah, look forward to seeing you guys there. Guys, if you have not done so already, please hit that thumbs up. We're sitting at
It's
200.
bearbulltraders.com.
Yeah, we'll put the link out there, right?
Yeah. Do you have Carlos? Can you pull the announcements up to that slide one more time? Because some of these people might not have ever been to the website and might not know where to look.
Yeah, let's get it on here in case you just
there you go.
us and
So if you go to
bearbulltraders.com,
which I just put up the URL on YouTube chat, and you can go right on the homepage. If you scroll down, you will see that test drive, $39. That's it. Click that test drive now. When you check out, use the promo code YT free, and that'll get you 7 calendar days, 5 trading days in the chat. Also, the live onboarding classes tonight with Carlos and Kyle and Mike, and that expires. You will not be able to use that code anymore after Friday. So anyway.
Yep, take advantage of it, guys. We're going to have a whole lot of fun in there. All right, here's Brian with his list. APOP, LCID, SAVA, FAS, and also SBSW. So that's his list for this morning. Guys, I was mentioning earlier, please hit that thumbs up. Highly appreciate it. We're sitting at 272, which is great. I always like to be between 300 and 400. 400 is usually our goal. When we get there, we are very, very happy. So we'll love to see that. If you have not done so, please slam that, and we appreciate it very, very much.
Yep.
Okay,
thank you,
guys, we're all set. Make sure you guys use that code. We'll see you in the chat. We're not going to hang up just yet. We're going to wait for Brian and Andrew to come on. We'll show you what the chat room looks like for those that have not seen.
And we're going to do a little something different too for this time that we go between the pre-market show, which ends about 9:15, and then market open at 9:30. Instead of showing the screen that we have been showing, we are just going to show the actual screen, which Andrew starts sharing his screen and walking through levels that he's picking out, or whoever else is in here. So
Yep. So I see Brian's logging in already. So guys, I'm going to transition over. It takes a little bit for the sound to kick in. So we're going to transition over to them and their screen. I'll show you guys what that looks like, and you kind of get an idea of what Andrew's screen looks like. Again, it's going to be a whole lot of fun. Guys, take care over on YouTube. We will be in the chat room, so hope to see you there. You got the code, do not forget. And also onboarding class tonight. Do not forget about that. We'll do our onboarding class at 8 p.m. tonight, followed by tech class by Kyle. Both really, really good stuff. So we'd love to see you there. Take care, trade safe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good morning, Andrew.
Take care, guys. Trade safe.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, YouTube guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys, on YouTube. Appreciate that. See you in the chat room.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Brian.
Interesting. Let me, I need to add Tesla to my list of stocks on watch here. Financials are strong this morning. Energy is strong. Jared probably may have been talking about that in the pre-market, pre-market show.
Good morning, Brian.
Yeah, good morning.
How was your weekend?
It was good.
Uneventful. Lucid is coming up. What's up with APOP popping up like that?
Yeah, I don't know. Something came across the wire or something, because it just jumped like $12 just a few minutes ago. So
SBSW. SBSW, what the hell is that company? Looks like a foreign company, huh?
yeah, just maybe just looking at it for a rising devil trade.
Yeah. So YouTube guys, thank you so much for all the like and subscribe and support of our channel. There's a code that you can join for free next tomorrow. Carlos and Norm are going to mention that. So for those of you who don't want to pay $19, I'm just kidding. But we're going to stop that at the open, because just live stream on YouTube has put a lot of pressure on our resources and kind of messed up both ones. So at the open, Carlos will cut it up, and then we go to the chat room. ATER is I lost money on it. Not a big fan. IWM is up. I know CCL and Oxy. CCL is up. What a beautiful rounding.
Yeah, nice series of higher lows. A lot of the travel sector stocks are all starting to make a move up.
Oxy is really interesting. I love Oxy, but I remember that Oxy was trading really jerky in the past. Hopefully it has grown up and trades better, but definitely I can put the Oxy in my watch too.
Once it settles out, it actually, you can get a nice run on it. It's going to be, it's in my watch list for swing trades. It's part of this energy sector, obviously. Energy's looking good today.
Perfecto.
Hey, poop is dropping. Back. Yeah, I am actually. I've got a little bit of CEI. I still don't. There's still one thing I really don't like about it, and that's the it doesn't seem to have any cash. I tried to look for the financials on the weekend on it, and couldn't find anything that was less than a year old on the website. So still makes me nervous. They're going to have to do a fundraising.
Let's see, for the break of 29 would be
I mean,
BBIG. BBIG is good for potential breakout, but the problem with BBIG is the problem that I have is now it's under $10. I don't know. I have trouble usually trading stocks under $10. So to be honest with you, I don't know if I can trade it. We'll see how the order flow is. And if you can get a sell-off at the open, then maybe we can get a bounce around 7 or something like that. That would be nice. Fallen angel.
Lots. The research I do is covered in my book, but everything from stock twits to others. I do scans. There's stocks that I'm always kind of watching. Yeah, I'm not super crazy about anything yet. LCID kind of looks interesting. Cool. Thanks, Anton. Okay, we've got 2 minutes to the open. Tesla's still moving higher here. Dang it. It's going to go green before the market opens.
BBIG.
I think Tesla goes to 800 this week.
Dr. Michael Berry is still short Tesla.
I don't know, but the chart doesn't look very. If I was him, I wouldn't like to look at that chart. That daily chart on Tesla, it's just looking. It's looking like it's just going to keep going higher.
Yeah, Carlos, I think you can cut off the YouTube now if you can. Thank you so much, guys, in YouTube. All the best. Good luck and see you in the chat room.